Good afternoon, music students. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ms. Galbach, and I am one of the elementary music teachers in Covina Valley School District. So today I'm going to be teaching you a short lesson about the staff in music and what it means. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing we need to do when we're reading notes on the staff is think about what kind of pitch we're going to play or sing. So there's two different kinds of symbols we use for that. If you remember, pitch means high sounds and low sounds. So our symbol for higher pitch is called a treble clef. And you might not be able to see it, but I'm actually wearing some treble clef earrings for this video. The other symbol looks quite a bit different. This is called a bass clef, and this is used for reading lower pitch. So today we're going to be looking just at the treble clef staff. If you are in elementary school, then you are singing at a higher pitch on the treble clef staff. And if you're in elementary band, you're also reading your notes on the treble clef staff for flute, trumpet, or clarinet. So once we have our clef down, we need to make 5 lines. You can see that I've numbered them here, and we always number them going from the bottom to the top. So there's 5 lines, and then in between those 5 lines are 4 spaces. Sometimes I like to tell students to think of your hand because it has 5 fingers, and thinking of your thumb as the first line of the staff. We can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 5 lines. And in between your fingers, there's spaces. So those could represent the 4 spaces on the staff. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's another way to think of it. So on our lines and spaces, we're going to put some notes, some pitch. So there's 2 different kinds of notes we can read then. One we're going to call a line note because there's going to be a line going through the note. So I've drawn some whole notes on the staff, and there's a line going through it. Here's another way to think of it. Line note. When we have a note or a pitch that's between 2 lines, that's in the space. So you can think of it like this, space note. So again, line note, the line goes through it. Space note, the note is in between 2 lines. So after we look at lines and spaces, then we're going to have a way to name our pitch. So we're going to give it letter names. So we're going to start with our line notes, with our 5 lines. So the 5 lines are E, G, B, D, and F. So that might seem like a lot of letters to remember in that order. So we're going to use what we call a mnemonic device, which is a pattern to help you remember something. So in this case, we're going to use letters, a pattern of letters as a mnemonic device, and we're going to put words with those letters. So the most common one is every good boy does fine. There's other ways that you can think of this too. You can make up your own. Here's a couple that I really like. Every good burger deserves fries. And then here's one that a student made up. Every good bird deserves falafel. So you can make up your own too. The space notes are a little easier in the treble clef. The space notes from bottom to top are F, A, C, E. And that spells out a word. It spells the word face. So I like to think of it as a short rhyme, face in the space. So now that we've named each of our pitches, we can kind of see the order that the letters go in if we're going to go up one by one with our pitch. So let's say we're starting with E. We're starting with a line note. If we want to go to the next letter, F, that's a space note, then line, space, and the pattern continues that way if you're going up by one note at a time. So we can name our pitch using letters. We can also use solfege with the notes on the staff as well. So to make it a little easier, let me draw a couple more notes here. And I'll explain why they look different in a moment. So let's use the letter system. I'm going to go backwards one letter in the alphabet from E, so then the pitch below it would be D. I'm going to go backwards one more time, and then the pitch below that is C. So sometimes when a pitch is too low or too high for our lines and spaces, we're going to give it its own special line, and that is called a ledger line. Again, an extra line if your pitch is too high or too low for the staff. So now we have C, D, E, and I can read them or play them as C, D, E, or I can also use solfege and sing do, re, mi. So either way works. But these are some basics about the music staff. Again, this was just the treble clef. I encourage you, as an extension of this video, to look up the notes of the bass clef on your own. It's a completely different system of letters on the lines and spaces of the bass clef. So it's a bit different than the treble clef. So look that up. And then in the description box of this video, I'm also going to include a couple of links to some fun songs to help you remember E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, E in the treble clef. So I hope you learned something new today, and I'll see you on the next video.